Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Three Dads and a Console. We know not every dad can stay up to date on the latest and greatest in video game news that you need to know about, so we are here to do it for you. And remember that this show is kid-friendly, so no earmuffs are needed. Now on with the show. I'm one of your hosts, Bob, plays alongside the Young Gun Court.
What's up? I got my water bottle.
That's such a... My name's Jeff.
My name is Jeff.
My name's Jeff.
That other voice you hear is the Goon, Pez.
Good. Oh, okay. Good day. Good day, dads.
Good day to you, sir.
I said good day.
I remember last week I couldn't really get any intros, but I think this week I had.
Yeah, love a good.
Because I showed up early.
Love a good Goonin intro, you know.
So nothing really happened last week, right?
Nah.
Not anything.
Nah. Shut it down.
No. You guys playing anything or no?
No.
I have, dude. I've been playing Red Dead Redemption too.
Is my man in? Are you in or
All
are you
way.
in?
All the way. I am putting in I am stopping what I'm doing to play this video game.
I knew it.
Any minute I have, so what I decided to do is the horse part that still, I'm gonna say it, still annoys the living daylights out of me. I just put it on cinematic mode and just hold down the X button and I go.
Let it do its thing.
It doesn't bother me as much. I think the story is phenomenal. The gameplay is fantastic. It looks better than half the PS5 games I've played, and it's a PS4/PS3 game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the game looks amazing, runs amazing, looks great on the PS5 Pro. With the little upgraded, like, it does look better on my PS5 Pro than my PS5 in my office. I've been going back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
Am I cheating and pulling up a map right beside me and like knowing where all the treasure is and doing all that? 100%. But am I doing any of the story missions and just finding treasure and doing that stuff instead? 100%. I've barely played any of this. I think 11 hours in.
Yep. You'll do like 2 missions and then it's like, well, let's go hunting. Let's do a little fishing. Let's go do a little treasure hunts. Let's just see what's out in the world. What are we gonna just show up on?
But I will say this. I don't feel that I need to finish it. And when Civ comes out, which is coming to console, I'm going to play that. And then when Assassin's Creed comes out, it's going to play that. But I'm having a great time in Red Dead and feel that, I didn't give it a fair chance.
I mean, that opening 2 hours is slow.
But
you got to get through it.
It's still pretty good.
It's great. It's great. Once I was able to play it a second time and get through the intro, it was like, okay, this game opens up and I actually really enjoy it. There is tough.
It's a very good game. I can see why everybody says it's amazing. I get it.
Yeah, it's fun. Fun game. I've gone back to a little bit of Helldivers. It's a blast.
Look at you, Freedom.
Just a little bit, a little sprinkling of freedom.
A little sneaky doodle diver.
Yeah, I mean, it's really good. The Illuminate, so they dropped their third race finally. Yep. The Illuminate, a lot of fun.
Illuminati.
The Illuminati, triangles everywhere. But yeah, it's still a lot of fun. They mega buffed all these weapons, so everything is just viable and it's still chaos and it's great.
I bought the Killzone stuff in that game.
Did you?
I even spent like $5 on super credits because
money? Did you do it on stream so you could write it off?
No, but
unbelievable.
I'm gonna play it on stream, so it is.
I'm actually embarrassed that you didn't do it on stream so you can write it off. Like,
don't worry, I'm gonna play it on stream and I'm gonna review it. This is me reviewing the Hellgas skin on Helldivers 2. It's really neat. It has some good buffs and overall 10 out of 10. There we go.
There you go. Done. Easy. Take that.
Take that, government.
IRS.
Yeah, that's right.
Take that, government.
Take that, government. Government took my taxes.
I hate this time of year. There's gonna be one day where I just have to record. It's gonna be miserable. It's gonna be like when Sonic gets hit.
What else is new?
When Sonic gets hit and his rings explode out of him, that's gonna be me. I'm sick right now. All right, I'm day to day.
Listen, Wabba's got the
sniffles.
I'm
playing through the pain. I'm gonna say this: when Wabba is sick, he is probably the most. His wife probably just wants to punch him in the face.
That's why I stay in my basement. I'm eating Ricolas like I'm a 70-year-old man.
My man is ripping Ricolas like he is a kid on Halloween ripping through M&Ms.
I got a Ricola upper decky right now. Like
my man is cheeking Ricolas like he's a 1995 baseball player.
I got it up here.
And it's just red man chewing tobacco. Just a full lip of Ricolas.
I got, I'm tasting the Swiss Alpine.
My man's riding the Alpines.
Ricola, sponsor us.
Shout out Ricola.
The best part about having a podcast that caters to an older crowd.
He's gonna kill Waba here, man. He's gonna choke on this Ricola.
You know there are people listening that are like, damn, Ricolas do kind of slap. I haven't had one in a
Dude, Ricolas do slap, though. That's the thing.
Hold on. Do you guys not have halls out there?
We do have halls, but when I used to work at a CVS, they used to have free samples. And I would just be eating them like
Of course
candy.
you would.
But they're not candy.
Of course you would.
It's like medicine.
Waba doesn't take
halls.
Halls.
Be okay.
Waba
Are you gonna be okay, Waba?
Halls once Taylor Hall got traded.
Yeah.
It brings back too much pain for him.
Oh, that's a good, yeah.
Hey, I'll give you this because I know you don't watch my content.
Hey, yo.
The Bruins are close to signing Trent Frederick.
Let's go!
Wow. I'm
Finally!
legitimately surprised because I didn't think they were going to do it.
He's got grit. He's a perfect bottom six.
The word on the street is Justin Brazeau will be traded.
That makes sense.
He's the guy they'll trade.
He can, based on the Anthony Mantha trade last year, you may be able to get a second and fourth for Brazeau. That's what Mantha got, I think he's better than Mantha.
I think you can get a second for him easy. Just like I was saying to someone, I'm like, you could get a first for Frederick. And so I was like, you can't do that. I'm like,
what?
One.
Who said that? Unfollow them. Was it Waba? Unfollow him too.
People just, it's Facebook burner. People don't realize like he's definitely a first round pick if you're trading, especially his assets, because teams will overpay for a guy that can't score, but he can punch people in the face.
Yep.
Love it. I will say Kastelik though, I know he's on IR. Very impressive. Very happy they signed him because not only can that dude punch people, he can score. He is my ideal player. Him and Trent on the same line. That's Jesus, I'll watch that all day.
That thing is like watching like two cars with no gas in it trying to go up a hill. That's how slow they are.
That's good. It's my kind of speed. I can follow along.
Wob is loving this.
I'm just gonna let it go. I'm not gonna. Hockey. I will let. Waba is the typical Bruins fan. That's like, this guy can punch people in the faces, and then he can score 10. This guy can get 10 goals. He's the best.
Wicked awesome. Get him a Luchik Fight Club T-shirt. He's wicked awesome.
Kastelik is a fourth line center. Great.
Yes,
but that is all he is.
Perfect.
Why be? Oh, Bruins are getting another penalty. What is wrong with these? Oh, it's the first period. They're just replaying it. What are they doing? Oh, they're just showing it. They're just saying the Bruins getting.
Those are my kind of players. Bottom six, gritty forward.
My type of players, the ones that win hockey games. So right now, the Las Vegas Golden Knights, fantastic. Hey, Stonks. All he does is score goals.
Dude, it's so wild.
Pavel Berchikadov.
And his future watch auto is still 20. I'm like gonna pick a few of these up.
It's slam the market. Let's go. Diamond hands. Don't paper hands this. Let's go.
But this guy, like, once again, eventually people are going to have to get into him because like it doesn't make sense because even a buddy of mine, he was like looking at, he's like, oh, I got to get people for my lineup. And I'm like, look up Pavel Dorofeyev, and he's in a hockey pool with like, there's 12 teams. Okay. There is 12 teams. There's no way in hell he should be a free agent. I was like, I guarantee he's a free agent. And he's like, oh my God. And I was like, can you do me a favor and go to like most points available and just click it? And then he's like, he's right there. And I'm like, could you also do me a favor and look up the top 30 point getters in the NHL right now? And he was like, what? I'm like, he's there. It's great. Like the biggest unkept secret in the NHL. The guy gets number one power play minutes. He plays on the second line with Thomas Hertl. Like, what the? He's almost got 20 goals this year. Like, it's like, it's
crazy. So undervalued.
It's because no one
so undervalued.
As good as Vegas is, people don't pay attention to them, and I don't understand why.
No, in the collections, like even Mark Stone's, Jack Eichel rookies are still $30 Canadian. Like, no one cares.
Yeah,
it's because they're the Las Vegas Golden Knights. But if they win the cup again this year, that will change.
Yeah,
I'll have to pick a few more up. But I mean,
anyways.
Speaking of hockey, though,
team of the season
is upon us, which I'm very excited for NHL. It's happening on Friday. They came out with a set today that's basically gambling. Shocker. 383s and you get an 85 nominee card. And if the nominee ends up getting an award, they are worth 6 times the amount of collectibles. What does that mean? Nobody knows. And apparently some of the design council are saying that you can only use them for that particular card. So I don't understand. They release things and they don't tell anybody how they work. Meanwhile, I made a few of them because,
of course
gambling.
You did.
Because why not?
But I got Taylor Heisey, which is what matters because I want her card.
Heisey?
She's great. She's
from the Minnesota North Caps or whatever they're called.
The Frost.
The Frost. Sorry.
$80 young gun right now.
I was thinking of the Vancouver Whitecaps, who is a MLS team.
But next week you'll hear me complain about whatever sets come out or about how smart I am because I stocked up and I have a bunch of packs to rip.
Ahead of that rant, I would like to say I'm sorry for you or congratulations. Whichever works.
Thank you. I appreciate it. So we've been talking about a bunch of different games. Now let's switch it up and talk about some hardware. Pez,
ooh. What's up?
You have a little game console by an indie company that you wanted to talk about.
Yes, guys. AMD is releasing their 9000 series cards. No, last week. Was it last week? It was last week.
Yeah.
The day after we record this stupid podcast, Nintendo comes out and is like, you know what, guys? We heard from Pezzy and Court, our biggest investors. You want to know about the Switch 2. So here you go. They drop a reveal trailer for the Switch 2. Pretty much everything we already know. Bigger screen, bigger Joy-Cons. The Joy-Cons, instead of sliding into the screen, now magnetically click into the screen, into it. One of the things they showed in the reveal trailer, and if you want more, you can go to 3dadsconsole.com where I did talk about everything in that reveal trailer, is they showed the Switch Joy-Cons sliding on the ground like mice. So now it is believed that you could use the Switch Joy-Cons like mice, which honestly for me...
Do you actually think it's real?
I think it's real. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, think of all this iteration of Nintendo hardware isn't as a generational leap as it usually is, but also with Nintendo, sometimes they do the 3DS and then the new 3DS and then the 2DS and then the new 2DS. But I'm really excited that mouse feature is in, because I think that's going to be not necessarily game changing, but I think it'll be important for games like Balatro, right? Where you don't want to use, maybe you don't want to use the Joy-Cons, or the Joy-Con sticks. There are rumors going around that these sticks are much, much better in this one than they were in the previous, which I don't know how they can be any worse than the previous Joy-Cons, than the original Switch's Joy-Cons. The kickstand looks great. Looks like it'll be a lot better. It runs the length of the console, which is better than the ones we have now, which is just, again, a little kickstand. There's more USB-C ports on there. So yeah, it looks like an upgraded Switch. I'm glad they're calling it the Switch 2 and not something stupid like the new Nintendo Switch or whatever, because that's what Nintendo does. We had the 3DS, we had the new 3DS, we had the 2DS, we had the new 2DS, right? It's that's what Nintendo does with their handhelds.
New 3DS XL.
The biggest and the best thing that they dropped in that reveal trailer is that it's backwards compatible. That is something Nintendo has not done. So when you looked at and I know this because I mistakenly bought my daughter a 3DS.
There is an asterisk.
Correct.
On backwards compatible.
Some games may not be. Who knows? Who knows what those games are? I would be.
What does that even mean, though?
Well, I think it might be some of the gimmicky style games like 1-2 Switch or whatever. Maybe those aren't backwards compatible. But I think your 90%, 99% of your backlog is going to be compatible. And especially your Nintendo first parties, those will be compatible.
Thing is the exact same thing, just a bigger screen.
Yeah. I mean, there might be different functionality in terms of the Joy-Cons, but we don't know that.
Well, I'm pretty sure we do. No, it looks the exact same. Whoops, sorry. You can use it as a mouse. You can do spreadsheets with it.
Oh, so, let's go. I'm in.
Here's my thought. Not to put a poo-poo on all the Nintendo people. Nintendo first-party games are the best in video games. There's no doubt. Do you remember when they had the Wii and then they brought out the Wii U and it was just a little bit better?
Mm-hmm.
Just scored. That's what I feel like they're doing here. I think it's just a little bit better. I don't think it's that much better. I don't think it's that much better. You right now have a PS4. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You have a PS3 Pro as the Switch, right? It's a PS3 Pro. You are now, because the Digital Foundry was going over the specs, you're now a PS4 Pro for the Switch 2. Whoop-de-woo-wah. Like, what are you getting out of this?
I mean, for those that are going to buy it, you're getting a better Switch.
Probably battery life too, which will be helpful.
So hold on. So you get a better kickstand and better battery life and a bigger screen.
Well, and you're probably
Steam did that with the Steam did that too.
Well, and
but I can play.
Like,
I can play the games on the old Switch.
You're getting better tech inside of it too, so it'll run better. It'll look better. Like we don't know, and we don't know if there's any sort of like AI adaptation for frames and whatnot. Like we don't know any of that stuff yet.
Vespas.
I'm not. We don't know the teraflops of our of this new console.
Not one polygon. Don't
know. So I think until we get like an actual deep dive, which is coming in April, we're not going to know. I think it'll be more than just an upgraded Switch. But even then, I mean, that's like saying, well, if you bought a PS5, why would you buy a PS5 Pro? They're essentially the same thing. You know what I mean? It's like
I'm not disagreeing with you.
So,
what I'm saying, I'm not. The PS5 Pro is just a new. It's just a pro version of a console that already exists. The Switch 2 is a brand new console that is not giving me anything new that I can play the games on the Switch already.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
Until we know,
I think there's a big difference between a pro version of a console and a second version of a console.
See, I don't, because a pro version, like, because the Switch and an OLED Switch, that is your PS4, right? Your Switch is your PS4. Your OLED version is your PS4 slim or whatever the heck they're called, right?
Pro.
And then your Switch 2 is your pro version. That's the way I would look at it.
You could tell yourself it, but that doesn't make any sense to me. That's the Switch 2 is a PS6. PS5 to PS6. If you're Switch 1 and then you go to Switch 2, it's PS4, PS5 to PS6.
So what is...
It's going to sell and my stock will go up and I'm happy about it. But
I'm happy about it.
It might not, though. It might get Wii U'd.
I don't think so. If they come out... What was that? I heard like yelling in the background.
Oh yeah, I was pulling up the Switch thing because I'm trying to find something before I say it.
I think if they come out and they say, okay, like it's backwards compatible, but your Switch 2 games aren't going to work on your Switch, like your original Switch. I think that drives units, especially if there's a new Mario Kart, which we saw already. So if Mario Kart 9 only works on the Switch 2, people that want it are going to buy a Switch 2. You know what I mean? Like, unless the Mario Kart 9 works on the original Switch, which we don't know if it does or not, that'll sell. That right there will sell units. A new Mario Kart bundle will sell crazy units.
How did Brazo not score there? Sorry.
Crazy units.
He just killed Markstrom.
Am I buying a Switch 2 day one? No. I won't buy it because I barely have time to use the Switch I have right now. Right. So like for me, I can just wait until that Mario or Zelda game that comes out finally like drops. And I'm like, yes, I have to go buy this. But I don't think Nintendo needed to, a lot of people are like, well, it's not the generational leap that like they made when they did the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch. I don't know if it has to be, because they're just gonna increase what is their best-selling console. Like they're just gonna change some tech, add in some new tech, add in some new gimmicky stuff that they'll probably ditch, a year into it, and charge you $400 for it.
What do you think the first game will be? The launch game?
Mario Kart.
Because Nintendo is smarter. Did you see the rumors that it isn't a Mario Kart 9 and it's a Mario Kart Maker?
That's interesting.
I like that.
I did not see that.
I like that a lot.
So that's the rumors. So once you all day today, that's all I've been seeing.
That's a system seller. That's a big deal. That'd be great.
It's not Mario Kart 9. It is Mario Kart Maker.
That's interesting. Very, very interesting. Also,
and I kind of think it makes way more sense. They don't need another Mario Kart. Mario Kart Maker is even better.
Yeah, you just keep 8 and then add like this Maker game and let people do their thing. I mean,
what are you doing? Because 8's got everything in it. It's got every track from every game.
And there were a lot of things in the reveal trailer for that new Mario Kart game. There were like 24 spaces and multiple, like a ton of drivers.
That's what everybody says it's a Maker for.
Yeah. I think that's really cool. I like that. I like that idea.
Because like Maker would still 100%. Have a couple levels. They'd be like, here's a couple tracks.
Yeah.
Make your own though.
Yeah.
And then then Nintendo could be like, here, we'll sell you this and this and this if you want to do more.
Shocker.
But I think there's got to be more. Like, does the new Metroid Prime launch with the console?
No, I don't think so. I think you'll get one premium title, I guess we'll call it, and then you'll just get, I'm gonna guess, like almost like a 1-2 Switch type game, to show off all the tech in it, like they did with 1-2 Switch, and then you'll get some smaller titles. But I think whatever this new Mario Kart is, whether it's 9, whether it's Maker, whether it's whatever, that is gonna be like that is your banner game. That's why people are gonna buy it.
Switch 2 has Call of Duty on it.
At 10 frames per second.
Still has it. Switch 2 will have Call of Duty. It'll have all the games. That's why I still think the PlayStation handheld is going to have games on it.
I mean, I hope so. I think the idea of a remote only handheld is, to me, just, I'm like, come on, man. Give the PlayStation people something more than just the Portal. Like you can.
What Jeff Grubb is saying, it's not just the Portal that. Oh God, it's 2-1. It's not just the Portal. It's you can download games onto it. It's gonna have 2 terabyte hard drive, and you can download games onto it. You can play PS5 natively on it.
Good. You should be able to. I have trouble anyway trusting Sony with a handheld because they ruined the sweet Vita, that sweet, beautiful baby boy of the Vita.
I miss it. My only concern about the Switch 2, and that's why I was opening the video, is I would call it a design concern. The Switch, you slide the Joy-Cons in, very secure. However, there's a magnetic, well, you know what I mean. But the magnetic piece that you do, there is from the system like a little, it looks like an iPhone little charger.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's called. That's something that I can see getting
a lightning port
bent. Yeah, it can get bent. It can get damaged. A kid could snap it. Because again, remember, you're doing this younger audiences, kids just walking around like this thing. And the worst part is it's attached to the console, not a Joy-Con. So you could replace a Joy-Con. Worst case, I can see this becoming an issue.
100%.
Where people are having reports of my kid, or I dropped it, or whatever the heck else happens. I connected it wrong. I had a faulty Joy-Con and it bent the friggin' thing off. Like, it's weird. I thought the snap, I know you said it wasn't super, but like when you snap it, like I don't have that concern. But with this, I do, and I feel like when you iterate something, you shouldn't be taking a step back from like a design standpoint. And I'm very surprised that nobody just like raised their hand and said like, this thing's gonna snap off at some point for somebody.
But that's what the issue they were having on the other one. Kids were snapping them off.
Yeah. So the issue with the slide is twofold. One, sometimes the button wasn't catching, and it would like slide around. And then 2 is, I think they went with the magnetic route because when you slid them in, some Joy-Cons weren't connecting to the console. So this way it's a direct connection into the console. But I agree because we all either have little kids or had little kids, and they are disgusting little drunk cavemen, and they're gonna drop stuff, and they're gonna in a tantrum throw stuff, and like they're gonna break it at some point. Like that little dongle that sticks out in into the Joy-Con is gonna break. Like it's gonna happen. So
yeah,
who knows? I wonder though if it's recessed enough into the console that the only way you can break it is to go in and like tear at it. Like I don't know if it's deep, but like I don't know if it's
It doesn't look like it is.
Yeah,
it looks like it's right there.
Which then it's like, guys, like that thing hits the corner of the coffee table, and all of a sudden, like that thing's cracked. And
so looking at the video, the demo, so the like the top buttons, instead of having that slide thing, you just like hit a button or you push it in, and like it comes out.
The back button.
Yeah, but like it's not. It can't be super deep because that piece isn't. So I think it's an interesting idea, but I feel like it's not perfect. And I don't understand. Like I get that it's like a cool thing, like, oh, you can take the controller parts off. Why? Like, why are we doing this? Why don't you just create like Joy-Cons that just are, and you can just play them remotely, and have like basically have a Switch. I know they have like the Switch that doesn't come off, but like just have a Switch that looks like a Steam Deck, and then if you want to do the controllers by yourself, like in your hands, then you just do it. I feel like I'd be curious to know the amount of people that like just having these like free floating Joy-Cons and aren't attaching them to a controller to play like when you're not up close to it, or who just have a separate controller for it. Like my wife, like when she was playing on this, I bought her just a controller because she didn't like the Joy-Cons or the Joy-Con controller.
Oh, I hate that Joy-Con controller. It's too small for my big baseball glove hands. But I mean, and part of this, right, is also like going to be the pricing, right? If it comes out at like 350, 400 USD, easier to swallow than 450 or a bundle or a $500 bundle, right? Like, so that's the other thing. Like, where are they going to price this machine? Is it just going to be your 300, or is it 400, or is it 500, or like, what are we looking at? So I think that also is going to play a part in it. Because again, people love Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8 is like their best selling game of all time because also they made it like 6 different times. So that I think will play a part in it too. But I would be shocked if the Switch 2 was a failure. I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
If it goes the way of the Wii U, I would be very surprised, which I have my Wii U sitting over there on a shelf. Shout out the Wii U. Shout out the best version of Wind Waker on the Wii U.
I was going to say GameCube is where it's at.
No. The Wii U version is superior because they introduced a faster sale than the GameCube.
I was going to say because the GameCube controller is unparalleled.
Let me tell you, you want to talk about denting a console? You could kill somebody if you threw a GameCube at them. That thing, you could probably drive a car over that thing and you blow a tire before it got a dent in it. That thing was so dense and so compacted together. It was just the best. But Nintendo'd all over it and gave you those little baby discs. So shout out Nintendo for your innovation that no one wanted. We had little baby discs. You couldn't even play real DVDs on it.
I have a case for a GameCube that I'd bought just from like a sale, and it's like, what for? You have a handle. Like when the apocalypse happens, someone's gonna stick a steel pipe connected to a GameCube, and that's gonna be their mace as they travel
around the
wasteland.
handle and just start mashing dudes with it. Hey, we have a Nintendo question in chat if you guys would like to answer it.
I would.
Sure.
I'm the expert.
From Rona Gatling here at chat at youtube.com/3dads on a console. How much of an improvement will the Switch 2 be? And do we need more power for Nintendo titles?
Well, I can't believe I'm going to say this. If the new Zelda can run on the Switch, Nintendo are like freaking geniuses. Whatever they're doing, they've somehow like mastered it. They also don't put out broken games. So it's just the power is going to be great, but I don't think you need more power for a Mario game.
I'd agree. Even like an Odyssey, like an Odyssey 2, like what do you don't need much for it.
No, you don't. And I don't really feel that it's going to be a substantial upgrade. No, I don't.
Yeah,
You're going to get 4K checkerboarding.
Yeah.
I think that's what we'll get. You're not getting 4K.
No. Yeah, you'll get checkerboarding, AI, like, whatever NVIDIA AI adaptation they'll pump into the dock or whatever, but yeah. And I think that's, I don't know if people care about that. I think they more want to play their Mario Odyssey 2 on the train on the way to work.
Good
That's
question.
All. You know what they don't want to play? A live service God of War game.
Yep.
Oh my God, no one does.
No one wanted that. And Sony, shout out Sony. I'm gonna give this to you. Shout out Sony for knowing that and canceling it ahead of time.
They're canceling it, but they've still got the live service Horizon game on the go.
So this week, was it this week? Yeah. So a couple days ago, Sony canceled 2 games. One from Bend, which is their first party studio, and one from Blue Point, which is another one.
And 3, yeah, and the the
Horizon MMO that we didn't that we haven't even mentioned yet. So one of these games was a live service God of War game. Gentlemen, Daddios, if you will. How much did you want to play a live service God of War game?
So here is my take on this one. I said this on PlayStation Generation. I was like, what were they going to do? Give us new characters? Because everybody would want to be Kratos. Because why wouldn't you want to be the character that throws a Leviathan axe and then gets to catch it after? Or do you want to be the little guy with the pew bow and arrow? Like, I thought about this. It was like, maybe that's it. Like, they were playing and like no one wanted to be any of the other characters in the world because they were like, why would you want to be anybody but Kratos? And like, what are you thinking? Why would it be fun to be anybody else but Kratos in these games?
And like the thing with a live service is like, what's the loop into this whole thing? Like, are you just Kratos continually like, are they going to go an Assassin's Creed route, right? Where you as Kratos like have a thing to do, but you also have a store that also has like weapon skins and time savers and blah, blah, blah. Or is it going to be like, I don't know, a Kratos, like, is it a team shooter or is it like a co-op live service game, or is it like just something like Helldivers where every month they just give you like a battle pass, an untimed battle pass, and you can just go do your thing? Nobody knows, but I don't know if they, at the next summer's Games Fest and they're like, we have, all of a sudden Kratos shows up and everyone's going crazy because they're like, oh my God, Kratos is now gonna rip the heart out of Ra and kill all these Egyptian gods, right? And then all of a sudden they're like, it's Kratos, like Blood of the Sinner, and it's a live service game, and you have 60-day battle passes, and hey, if you get through this battle pass, you could be a Atreyu, or you can have a Thor at the end of season 8 ride the lightning, and you can get all these cool banners and icons and emotes. And don't you want to see Kratos do an emote? So yeah, I'm really glad that they did it, because honestly, we've talked about live service games, and if you do it wrong, it's gonna fail. And if you do it wrong with one of Sony's best IPs, it's gonna look real bad.
So for me, it's also like, thank God Concord was garbage. And I know I told you guys when I played the beta, I was like, this game's not good.
Yeah, you did.
Because Concord being garbage is the reason all these are getting canceled, because Sony's like, yeah, we're done. What pisses me right the F off is Sony Bend, after making a game that I didn't really like, but Waba loved.
Shout out Sony Bend.
Has been working on this live service game, and that gets canceled. And then Blue Point, who makes the best remakes of anybody else,
they did the
has been working on that, and that gets canceled. So all the games that I would have wanted to play, single player story driven games by studios that can do them, have been working on live service games, and now they've been canceled. So this generation, Sony didn't give us much because they spent all their time trying to make live service games work when no one cares. There is not enough bandwidth in the world to have all these games and everybody hopping into them. And unfortunately, Sony, yeah, I get it. You want all your money. But guess what? This is what I don't understand. Xbox had such an opportunity this generation to just dominate. And they didn't pull it off because, oh my Jeremy Swayman, like this guy's just making save after save right now. Like Jesus Murphy, this guy.
Shout out Jeremy Swayman.
Yes, shout out Jeremy Swayman right now. Wow. Sorry.
You lost your train of thought.
I did. Oh,
it just got lost in his eyes. Okay.
Yeah, no, it did. So
how's zesty?
If Halo Infinite was good, because it wasn't, and I don't care who hops in the chat and tries to tell me it is, that game was not good. If Halo Infinite was good and had a very good, the multiplayer, the combat actually was fantastic, but the gameplay loop was absolutely trash, and it's still trash. They would be winning this generation because they've had better releases than PlayStation has this gen with regards to first party. But unfortunately, they've had bigger flops first party than PlayStation has because PlayStation hasn't released enough games this generation at all. They really haven't released enough first party games because they spent the whole generation trying to make live service games.
Right. And I mean,
now we're finding that out, and that pisses me right the F off.
Well,
and now they're like, we got to go back to single player games.
Well, when Helldivers 2 launched last year, they were like, okay, we're gonna do more live service games.
They don't own that studio.
I know, but Sony came out when that was launching and was like, we're gonna focus on live service games. And now their live service games are getting thrown in the trash because games like Concord and Suicide Squad were hard.
But they were already working on these games. Think about it. Their Last of Us got canceled because that was not good, even though they should have just made it as a multiplayer and put it into the game itself in Last of Us 2 and not made it its own thing. Their Concord, they were working on all these games. Like they've spent the whole generation working on
Spider-Man. The Spider-Man.
Yeah, that one.
That one
looked good.
Because I was like, yes, give me and my friends in New York to just be spider jerks around and just swing around and be a nuisance, a menace. We wanted pictures of Spider-Man and we didn't get it.
Dude, that one made sense.
Yeah.
Like that one totally
was great.
made sense.
It was like, cool. This is cool. Let's do it. And they were like, nope, shut that down. They shut down Twisted Metal. They shut down Last of Us Online. And like, obviously they shut down Concord and now they shut this down. And before we go to the Horizon MMO, Waba, your thoughts on all this?
I just can't even remember the last time I liked a Sony live service game. And I would throw Helldivers in the last time they've done well. Let's phrase it like that. When was the last time a Sony live service did well? And because I can't include Helldivers in that because it didn't do well. Well, it sold well, but then they flopped. Like, you know, the mismanagement of communication, taking over a year to introduce a new enemy, like tweaking it. Like, I think Helldivers, again, good game, good player base. I think they fumbled a bit in terms of the momentum they had.
Fumbled the bag, baby.
I have to go back for myself. Gosh, to go back to like,
isn't the Helldivers thing the PSN thing?
Yeah, like Sony, like they couldn't get out of the way. Like I literally have to go to SOCOM, or maybe MAG if we want.
Why didn't they? So
spicy.
Why? So MAG, it's funny you bring that up. They could have made SOCOM as their next live service game, and that's it. And then everybody else
they need to bring it back.
Game, and that was the game everybody would have played.
There's a dedicated community,
different, but it was different. All these other games are talking about, they're trying to take single player IPs and saying, hey, let's make a live service game out of a single player IP. When has that ever worked?
SOCOM right now would do amazing. The reason why it failed and why they shut down Zipper is because SOCOM 4 came out and then the PSN outage happened. So that game was dead in the water because during the first 4 weeks or whatever, no one could play it. Pull the plug. SOCOM would do amazing. I think it is a extremely competitive game in terms of like the format. I would make it like Rainbow Six Siege. It's like 5-on-5, 6-on-6. You get shot, you die. It is perfect for like esports and things like that. I think it has the right amount. I think that's something you could put skins into because you did. The skins you got were from completing first single player missions, which you could do, but you could also open up an effing store. Like that's it. Like, what? Do that. Like it literally, or you could have the free to play players who just want to maybe grind for like, free. Like it's so easy and it's there. You have a dedicated fan base, a very dedicated. They're still playing it right now. I'm in the Discord on like their own servers. And like that's the stuff. Like people would come back, and if even if like, again, it's been years since that name has even come up. People would get into it, especially if you make it cheap enough, or shocker, if you made it free to play. That would do numbers. That's what I think. That's what people want. Give me a good third person, like, one life, per round shooter. SOCOM, bring it back. You still have to.
SOCOM 2 Navy SEALs live on youtube.com/3dads-on-a-console.
Dude, I got into it for 2. I had to buy an HDD so I could play on 2. I got 3. I bought Combined Assault. I still talk to my friends that I knew during SOCOM. We were part of a big forum back when those were a thing in high school. Like that was like the stuff. Like we used to have like, matches, and we used to write down play-by-plays and post them in the forum. It was amazing. Like
my first clan,
the maps were so good and balanced.
My first clan ever was in SOCOM 2. They were called Men at Work, and your username had to be like a famous actor. So our account was Robert De Niro. So that's who we were at Men at Work. And shout out SOCOM 2, throwing the grenade and going like, Shabana.
But like,
loved it.
How close do you think Xbox was to actually being, because they're irrelevant now? They're a service. Like, let's be honest, their consoles are irrelevant. You don't need them anymore. All their games, that thing will be next week on Monday or whatever, the developer direct.
Yeah.
And or Tuesday or whatever it is, the 29th. And everything we're going to hear is coming to, like, the rumor is everything is coming to PlayStation now. All of it. There's no game that Avowed, Starfield, all of it. It's all coming to PlayStation. So all Xbox needed to do was make one good game. And they couldn't do it because Sony didn't do anything. They sold us PSVR 2, didn't support it. They sold us a PlayStation Portal. They sold us and I'm talking about this generation.
Yeah.
They've sold us a DualSense Edge. They've sold us colorful controllers. They've sold us plates. And their first-party games that they made that are only PlayStation 5 are what? Spider-Man 2.
Spider-Man 2, Horizon Forbidden West.
Nope. For Horizon Forbidden West DLC,
game?
Just DLC was PS5.
Oh.
Okay. It was a PS4 game.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
It was a PS4 game and a PS5 game. So yes, it was a PS5 game. So okay, I'll give you Horizon. So you have Spider-Man 2, Horizon. Helldivers 2 was not a first-party game.
No. It's published by Sony, not developed by Sony.
And then you have the
Last of Us remake. Was that a PS5 only?
Yeah, all the remakes.
So
I don't
remakes.
count those because they're remakes.
Right. So remakes.
Horizon remake.
Yeah, Horizon.
The Horizon Lego game, but that's I'll count Horizon Lego.
So not many.
No, man.
Not many.
But then Xbox, they put out a ton of games, but Starfield sucked. Bloodborne, the vampire one, absolutely terrible.
Redfall.
I can't wait to ignore Starfield on another. I can't wait to ignore Starfield on another console.
Yeah,
I can't wait to not play it.
Yeah,
I can't wait to not play it on PlayStation.
Indiana Jones is great, but like no one cared because the game because it's Xbox. If Indiana Jones released on PlayStation, we would be hearing about it everywhere. I'm going to play it.
It will.
We get it in March, right? I'm going to buy it. I'm 100% going to buy it.
So on the back of that, again, I think it was reported yesterday that NCSoft was creating a Horizon Zero Dawn MMO, and that was canceled. I am not. Let me be very clear. I am not a Horizon Zero Dawn fan, and I am definitely not an MMO fan. So this game is not for me. I've tried League of Legends, I've tried Pokemon Unite, and I've tried Heroes of the Storm, and none of them grab me. I don't enjoy MMO games.
No, you're
MOBAs.
talking. No,
sorry, I'm talking.
You're
MOBAs.
talking MOBA. MMO is Warcraft.
MMO, I also don't like MMO games. Like I don't
well,
like Warcraft.
When I heard about that, I figured it would
like,
be exactly like Monster Hunter. Think about it. You have all these different people. You go and you beat giant mobs. You try to get loot and you can craft different stuff. In my opinion, this game would have been very Monster Hunter-esque in the sense that you're all fighting big monsters.
I don't know if I would call Monster Hunter an MMO. Actually,
I wouldn't, but I think it could be applied to Horizon.
Design it that way. Sorry, I was thinking of MOBAs.
So here's my thought on this. I am a huge Horizon fan. But I also don't need all these other Horizon games in the Horizon world. I don't know why Sony is hanging their hat on this being the biggest franchise they have. Am I missing the boat on sales? Am I missing something here? Like, sure, give me a new Horizon game once every generation, but like the fact that I'm getting Ghost of Yote, which is not really a Ghost of Tsushima sequel, it's just like this, Miles Morales type thing, because that's what it is. It's not a full-fledged game. It's like, what the heck are we doing here?
I would not.
We didn't get God of War DLC because they decided to make this live. What the?
But also,
at least.
But also, if we talk about Horizon Zero Dawn, why do you play Horizon Zero Dawn? So you can be Aloy, right?
Yes.
In an MMO, you're not Aloy anymore. You are insert character.
Yeah. So I can see it working, but to me it would feel like Fallout 76, where there's this really cool world that you get put into. And yes, is it cool? Yeah, but it's not the way I want to play Horizon. Like, okay, yeah, I can explore things, I can fight bosses, I can, make my own character, which honestly pretty cool. I'm in the lore, but like that's not what I want. I would probably feel just as let down. I feel like you're right, like Fallout 76, like that's what I would compare it to. And that did fine, but it took a long time. And even like I would consider myself a diehard new gen Fallout fan.
Platinums you love Fallout.
Platinums for days. All the collector's editions.
Has a buddy though. Well, loves Fallout 76.
I don't. You can like it though, but I don't play 76.
His name Derek.
I tried it. It's not for me.
Oh, look at me!
Shout out Derek. Shout out Derek. Sponsor us.
Oh, please do. But it's I am happy though that Sony's like realizing this, I guess, now. And I know part of it's like the financial piece where it's like, okay, like, we got to cut our losses, but like they can't have another Concord come out where they just come out and it's just
they're not bringing out any more live service games. I think they're all done.
They should be. We don't need it. And like I find that I know Sony has like a wide range of like demographic in terms of age group. Like, like I said, I didn't see one kid opening an Xbox on TikTok. It was all, PlayStations. But like, I definitely Sony has an older demographic, in my opinion, of very dedicated users.
I can't watch this hockey game anymore.
They don't have time to do these games anymore. They need a pause button. They've got, stuff to do. They've got work. They've got families. They just don't want to, I'm not saying everybody. I'm just saying, like, from my experience too, like I've grown up with this product, this brand. I can't do it. I can't anymore. Like with these like MMOs and stuff. At least to dedicate and grind the way that you want, and then you want me to do 2 of them.
Do not, listener. Do not get this confused with Guerrilla's. With Guerrilla Games' Horizon Online game. So there is
that's a real thing.
That's wild.
This is a real thing. I'm reading this from Forbes. It is important to distinguish that this NCSoft MMO from a different live service, Horizon Zero Dawn project being worked on by Guerrilla Games directly, tentatively referred to as Horizon Online, which features more cartoony graphics according to leaked concept art. This is not an MMO, but some sort of co-op game, apparently targeted at a younger audience.
F me. Oh, it's Fortnite. F me. Oh, they're going to be emoting. They're going to be hitting the gritty.
Could be hitting that gritty. We take down that tall neck, and all of a sudden we're like, boop, 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 gritty, 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 dab, 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 Aloy, Aloy, Aloy. And then that's it. Done.
They're going to have a skibbity toilet on their back. Oh,
please stop using that word.
We're cooked. Are we cooked, chat?
But chat, we cooked. Sony, we cooked. The one thing that I don't like about all this is obviously the person aspect of it, of like the NCSoft CEO, I believe, came out. Oh, co-chairman. And he said, quote, let's create a 2025 where we work to the bone with the idea that if we don't turn around in 2025, there will be no future for NCSoft.
Huh.
My man came out and was like, if we don't make anything, shut it down. That part of it, you're like, ooh, okay, that's because I don't know. I actually don't know if NCSoft is a first party studio or not. Because like Bend and Bluepoint, like they'll be fine. NCSoft first party. That I don't know. They are a Korean publisher and developer that has strategic partnership with Sony Interactive. So it doesn't sound like it. But yeah, so that studio may shut down because Sony thought people wanted a Horizon MMO, and all of a sudden people were like, we don't want that, and they stopped doing it. People want
no one wants new live service games. No one does. No one is asking for them. Marvel Rivals. Do you know why it's working?
Because it's a Marvel property.
Marvel.
Yeah,
and it's free.
Yeah, it's free. That's the other thing. Like if you're gonna do a live service game, especially if it's a microtransaction riddled game, if there is a price entry point like it was with Conquered, like people aren't going to buy it. There's a reason Destiny eventually went free to play, because the Bungie with their 6 people that work there now were like, oh, people aren't going to buy a $40 expansion and also pay $60 for the game. After they buy the expansion, the next one comes out and they have to pay $40 for it, and we gatekeep all the old content. Like, let's just give them free to play, and then they'll buy all the stuff.
So here's the funniest part. Sony's like, we need a live service game. We need a live service game. You had Destiny, dumb nuts. Like, what were you thinking?
Yeah, and I mean,
you had Destiny. Destiny killed Halo, and you did nothing with it. You kept having Bungie do. Destiny's biggest issue was it tried to run on making it infinite. It just kept trying to add new content. It should have just stopped it and made another Destiny and started all over again.
True.
Yep. 100% agree. And I mean, there's still a new Bungie game, 3-person game coming out at some point. I forget what it's called, but it was with those like the white robot people.
Yeah, it's their original game. They're bringing it back out.
Yeah. So like that's still hanging out somewhere in the ether. And I read somewhere that there is still like another game. There's supposedly, hold on. There are increasingly
4-1, by the way. They scored
games in the pipeline.
2 goals and
2 from Bungie, which seem destined to make it to release. So Marathon, that was the game we were talking about.
Marathon, yes.
And an unannounced,
that's their original,
but internally promising MOBA. Shout out my hatred for MOBA. Codenamed Gummy Bears. Shout out Gummy Bears.
Jesus Christ, that's gonna be an iPad game. Oh no.
There are supposedly 2 Horizon Zero Dawn based multiplayer games in the work. One of them was the MMO that got axed. Then there's Fair Games, the Haven Studios heist game that was not well received during its reveal and has gone dark ever since. So who knows what's happening? Meanwhile, people are just like, Insomniac, can you put that Wolverine game out? And they're like, leave us alone. We'll let you know.
That's the funny part.
We'll let you know when that comes out. Shut up. Leave us alone.
Sony has done so well selling consoles and selling games by making single player games. Just like Nintendo. Nintendo sits there all the time and goes, you know what we're going to do? We're just going to keep doing the same thing we've done all the time. We're going to make the same games. We're not going to change it up. Just going to make them look different. Make the exact same game. We're going to give you a new Zelda game every single year. It's going to be a different type of Zelda game, but you're going to get a new Zelda game. And then Sony's like, you know what we're going to do? I know that it's been working really well putting out these single player campaign games because everybody's loving them. We get Game of the Year. Let's not do that.
Let's do the complete opposite.
That's how it goes.
You know, and also, like, how dare you nickname your MOBA Gummy Bears? Because now I have the theme song stuck in my head.
Bouncing here and there and everywhere. And that high adventures they cannot compare. We are the Gummy Bears.
Like, shout out Gummy Bears in the 1990s.
Oh, dude, it's the 80s.
Lava doesn't know about that.
I do. I used to watch it. I used to watch it.
Was it the 80s? Oh, crap. I thought it was the early 90s.
I don't know.
Your boy's old.
Any final thoughts for the folks before we sign off for today?
Well, I gotta double check this. I'm pretty sure I'm right.
I thought you were gonna be like
Disney's Gummy Bears.
Gummy bears.
It's on Disney Plus. I watched episode 1 with my daughter. She didn't get it.
I was just looking for the year. 1985.
Oh wow! It's not even like late 80s. Got that mid 80s action.
Sheesh.
Got that mid 80s action.
You know why I knew that?
Why?
Because late 80s was your Chippendales Rescue Rangers
What a banger.
and your Darkwing Ducks.
Oh,
Mid 80s is your Transformers, G.I. Joe, Gummy Bears, Gargoyles. You know what I mean?
Street Sharks.
Visionaries. Remember Visionaries? And Braveheart.
Biker Mice from Mars.
Street Sharks.
That's 90s.
Street Sharks.
That's 90s.
My man's coming in with the hotness.
Street Sharks had
90s.
Pogs.
VR Troopers, not Power Rangers.
No, remember Captain Power?
Everyone's
with
poggers.
the gun.
Mm-hmm.
And you shoot it at the screen.
Yep. Man.
Captain Power ruled.
Man. Shout out NES Light Gun.
Chippendale Rescue Rangers. I'm right. 1989. Tailspin 1990.
I love that.
DuckTales 1987.
Chippendales Rescue Rangers also banger of a NES game.
Sometime, dude, the best and so hard.
Yeah, really
Go
difficult.
slipping
Really
through
difficult.
the cracks because these two gumshoes are. Oh my god. There's no space too big, no space too small. We need help. Just call Chippendale Rescue Range. Chippendale when there's danger. So Emma's been watching Full House, and we're on season 4. She thinks it's the great. Oh, buddy, I know. I've seen every episode. She loves it, and she's like, "Daddy, after this, what are we gonna watch next?" So I don't know.
How old is she now? Like, she's almost 8.
Turning 9. So today was her first day, not sitting in a car seat.
Oh, what a big day! What a
Huge
big
day.
day! She must have felt like a queen.
Yeah, she was like, "Daddy, I'm a big girl." I'm like, "Well, you keep saying that. You're no longer a big girl."
That's right, Daddy. Wow, I'm a big kid now.
God.
Shout out Toys R Us, sponsor us.
All right, they'd be dead. Any other
Not in
final
Canada.
thoughts? Yeah, oh, fair. Any other final thoughts for the folks?
The Boston Bruins stink.
Yep.
Good.
Oh, your boy made a good call not starting Jeremy Swayman in fantasy.
And
hockey.
it honestly not
It's
his fault.
The team
Not even
blows.
close. Dude, he made like 15 saves in a row, and then they scored. It's like,
and some
whatever.
schmuck is gonna go on Twitter and be like, "Oh my god, Jeremy Swayman sucks," blah, 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 blah. And then they'll give Zadorov his little, and then call it. If you want to see those hand gestures, youtube.com/3dads on console.
Well, and I guess on a lighter note, one of our favorite publishers, Togi Productions, had a 16th birthday that you can read about. Some of my favorite announcements.
I also want to say thank you to Outright Games.
Oh,
this water bottle that they sent us.
Outright Games. Woo.
Sorry, they sent me and Pez.
Some French guy is like, "Whoa, Jean Mabel Waba?"
Yeah, someone in Europe. So the package that was intended for me is still in Tennessee a month later.
You're
have
the only 10 I
been
see.
using this every single day since I've got it.
I'd love to.
This is my go-to water bottle.
Maybe one day.
Shout out Outright
my name on
Games,
it.
my goat.
We love them though.
My goat.
It's a thought that counts. But no, we love them. But Togi had a birthday celebration. There are a bunch of announcements coming out. Again, they did a space for the Inbound. It's coming out on iPhone. You can cry when you are on the tee. But there was a game that is free. It is from a Noobzilla team. It's awesome. It is called Cats and Seek, and basically it is like a coloring book. And you can click and you have to find like 105 cats hidden throughout. It's kind of like Where's Waldo. And you can also color like a coloring book. It is a great game to play with your kids. My daughter has had a lot of fun finding the cats. They all have, and you can play it on Steam Deck, which was like really good. It's like a perfect Steam Deck game for your like younger kids.
Cool.
The first one I found was cat number 1, and it was from they put the real cat's name, a little blurb about the cat, and then under the owner, and the owner was Junkie, who we actually interviewed at our first, currently Creek's friend. So that was really cool to see, some of the names that we recognize from people we've met or, people we've seen. And then they also have some characters from their games in it that you can find. So it's very nice. Again, it's a nice relaxing thing if you're just looking for something to do on the couch, or, just kind of decompress after a work day, I suggest it. So it's called Cats and Seek.
I love it. And if I may jump in, Coffee Talk Tokyo. Oof. Sign your boy up. I'll be having a day one review of that bad boy because I can't wait to play it. I love Coffee Talk 1 and 2. Coffee Talk Tokyo, little Japanese spin on it. Love it. Can't wait. Shout out Togi.
Some good announcement. They had some good announcements.
I hope they come to PAX again. I love those guys.
I do too.
I love them.
But yeah, if you had fun and you want to read about those announcements we just talked about and more, you can check us out at 3dadsconsole.com. Or if you want to see Pez, I don't know, try to get us in trouble, you can go to youtube.com/3dads and a console and watch us live. We record. I don't know. That's all I got.
That's all we got. Hit that subscribe button, the bell.
Yeah. Like, comment, subscribe.
Shout out Kit Boga, wherever you are.
I love him.
I love him too. Okay.
Ironically,
the only one. I love that dude.
I was watching a VOD of his, and all of a sudden I see like a train go at the bottom because someone donated subs, and it was like Shadow, and it was from like years ago. It blew my mind. I'm like, dude, let me see a picture.
And shout out Bojo, wherever you are.
Bojo's a bum. I'll tell you about it later.
Okay. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
We'll stop at all our inside jokes now.